I
Yeah.
think there's a hot take going around, transitioning away from like entry level. Of course, don't be toxic to the kids coming into the sport.
Yeah.
But I've been hearing from, I think Marinick is the main proponent of this because he's an
Okay.
instigator. Okay,
Yeah,
he's an
he
instigator.
definitely is.
He's like, dude, we need trash talk. We need people.
Mm.
We need storylines. We need rivalries. We need whatever. And we have a semblance of that, right? You could say Tim and Max was a rivalry for 3x3 at the time.
Yeah.
You could say Tim and Max is a rivalry for 5x5 right now.
Yeah.
You could say Felix Max was a rivalry at a period as well. We've had some back and forth. Felix versus Kevin and Big Cubes. Mott's versus Felix, even though overstated. What do you think, as a owner of a production company or worker at a production company? What do you think we need beef? Do we need toxicity or trash talk? Like, is that a viable path forward? Do you think it's worthwhile at all?
So I think the answer is yes, but with nuance. I think the types of trash talk that you get, for example, in collegiate football or professional football is relatively appropriate. Maybe a little bit toned down from what they have. But I mean, you'll literally have, and I was watching the Ohio State and Texas game last week, right? And you'll have like these two sides, like the quarterback from Texas and the defensive end from Ohio State used to be roommates when they were both at Ohio State, right? And at the final, like basically clinching play, right? You have both sides, they're going all out, right? They're like trying to tackle these guys too. They're not just trying to like kind of hurt their feelings or get in their heads. They're trying to take them down. So you have the defensive end just completely like he like completely destroys a block, right? Strip sacks the quarterback, takes it back to the house to win Ohio State the game. Afterwards, right? The reporter asked them like, so did you guys exchange any jabs at each other, being known quantities, right? And the defensive end, Jack Sir, he's like, what we said to each other is like, you suck, better luck next time. Laughed it off, and then immediately after the game ended, I went to go see him, congratulate him for a great season that he had, wished him all the best of luck. That is the kind of beef we need in cubing, I think. Where when it comes to the highest moment, both sides are trying really hard and they know what the stakes are, and they will do what it takes in that moment to win out over the other. But once like the lights are off, and everything goes back to normal, out of the stage setting, like everyone is like good friends and is just wholesome to each other and game recognized game. I think that is like the best possible case because you have the people who want to get into cubing or are part of cubing, right? And they want to see the wholesome side, right? They want to see the fact that cubing is like a good place to be, and if you're like 12-second solver like I am, that you're not just instantly going to be run away. But at the other hand, you have the people who are just drama farm, like drama hogs, right? Like they just want to see like the most spicy content at any given time, and like it or not, that's what gets views, right? And
Yeah.
that's what drives engagement. And that's what creates storylines, for better or for worse. I don't think we should manufacture beef in any sort of way. I just think that being able to be a little bit chippy at times, as long as it's all in like good sportsman fun, I think that would be a good thing to have in cubing.
Well, especially if we're doing the head-to-head format, which I think
Yes. Yeah.
what I think lends itself to some trash talk. Dude, I couldn't imagine like a mic'd up moment between like Maddie Timon at at All Stars finals or whatever. Because Maddie sneakily was pacing Timon crazy. He had some pretty
Yes.
glaring mistakes, but still ended up with like 5.2 average or something crazy, 5.3 average.
Yes.
And I think it was underrated how close he was to just doing exactly what Timon did. Like he was solving very well. But I could
Yeah.
imagine like Timon's like, "Oh, you messed up that PLO there or something," throwing a little cheeky remark. I think that'd be
Dude,
cool.
Max did this when he got 6x6 mean world record back at NAC. He was sitting next to Nam, and he's like, "Congrats, Nam, on your old world record," or something like that, something to that effect, right?
Bro,
Um, and I think that stuff is hilarious because it shows because the reason why the beef exists is because the guys care, right?
exactly.
Like the results matter at the end of the day to these guys, and I think if the results don't matter to them, then why should everyone else care? So I think like having that is just a way to like show that off. But I think it's also like just all in good fun, right? Like I don't really want there to be like a big rift between between like competitor A and competitor B to the point where like, they just don't feel comfortable coming to the same competitions with each other. Like that's not the vibe. I think it's more so like just game recognized game and just trying to get into each other's heads just slightly to raise the stakes, make it more interesting.
Yeah, I do think there's a lack of psychological warfare going on at the top level. I think we could really benefit from some of that. Yeah, I think it could be interesting. Like I said, especially the head-to-head format, dude. There's so much more room for that type of stuff. Because, imagine like the Felix Motts clip. He takes his world record by .01 right next to him. That's gotta suck, dude. But I can't help but feel like potentially Cubing's a little too wholesome. We want to we want to share. We want to be very kind and inclusive. And everyone at the top, I think, has followed Felix's lead in that. If we didn't have Felix as the lead, like the head of the community, as the head of the community, we could have been a lot chippier more consistently.
Yeah, definitely.
And I won't name names, but there's a handful of top level solvers I've had to deal with that are like kind of rude. Some people are of the opinion we need a villain character, especially for building a storyline or whatever. Like Dylan Brooks in the NBA. He's just the instigator, bro. He's just saying whatever. He's like, I'm better than LeBron. I locked him up. Blah blah blah. Just like, bro, shut. But you watch him, right? At least you watch him, and you're like, you keep up with him more than just some random role player on some whatever team. So I think it would be cool to see, but like you're right, with nuance.
Definitely with nuance. I'm not advocating for like, and I'm also not advocating for like random kids to go around in competitions and like, tell other people that they suck. Like that is like not what's going on here. Like if that's the message you got for this, you gotta like tune out, like go back to your Cocomelon or whatever, man. Like that is like not it at all.